Paul Michael Levesque is a man that is worth $150 million. This man is loaded with money. But here's the thing. A lot of you might be wondering right now, who the hell is Paul Michael Levesque? You might not know the man's real name, but you may be familiar with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Still doesn't ring a bell? Well, how about Triple H? That's right, folks. Call him by any name you want. You can use the game, the cerebral assassin, the king of kings. Whatever you may want to call him, there's no denying the fact that Triple H is worth $150 million. This is a wealth that he has not only accumulated over more than 2 decades as a professional wrestler in the World Wrestling Entertainment, aka WWE, but it is a wealth that he has amassed thanks to how he has worked as an executive for the same company he wrestles for, and how he's made smart business decisions ever since he started earning a lot in the WWE. And also it helps that you're married to the daughter of a world-renowned billionaire like Vince McMahon. Still though, it doesn't take away the fact that Triple H has earned his money through his success in and out of the squared circle. Wrestling for the WWE since 1994, he's become one of the most popular figures in all of professional wrestling, and is and always will be one of the figures that immediately ring a figurative bell in your head the moment you hear his name. With 14 titles under his belt, Triple H is second only to John Cena and Ric Flair in World Championships won in the WWE thanks to his talent in the ring and his ability to work both as a crowd favorite and as a villain in wrestling. So it's not always because Mr. McMahon is rewarding his baby girl's husband. Triple H has since ditched the tights and the long hair by donning a suit and tie after he took over in the front office of the WWE. He is now an executive vice president for the company and is widely considered to be next in line to follow in Vince McMahon's footsteps. If not, then his wife could probably do it. But enough about Triple H's career in wrestling and his position as an executive of a billion-dollar company, because we're here to talk about how a man of his wealth and stature is spending all of the millions he's earned. From his extravagant ring entrances, securing a private jet for him and his wife, buying expensive luxury and sports cars, and purchasing an expensive mansion fit for the King of Kings, let's look at how Triple H spends his millions. Extravagant entrances. If you've been a fan of professional wrestling for a very long time, you would know that a good entrance to the ring is part of the package that makes a wrestler a major draw and marketing goldmine for the WWE. The entrance becomes part of the wrestler's identity, and many people who are drawn to that wrestler because of how well he does his entrances together with his music and persona as a wrestler. You would instantly think of guys like The Undertaker, John Cena, Kane, and Rey Mysterio when it comes to these fantastic entrances. But none of them can usually top the way Triple H spends a lot of money just to have the most memorable ring entrances in the entire business. Triple H doesn't always splurge on his entrances, especially when you are merely talking about his simple weekly appearances on Raw or SmackDown and the smaller pay-per-view events, but he usually goes all out during WrestleMania. He always has the best and most expensive entrances in WrestleMania, as he not only often hires the rock band Motorhead to play his ring entrance live, but also usually spends a ton of money on some unnecessary things that ultimately make his ring entrances memorable. This includes his Terminator-themed entrance complete with an Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo in WrestleMania 31, a huge gold crown for the King of Kings during WrestleMania 30, and a large motorcycle in WrestleMania 34. You can simply Google Triple H's WrestleMania entrances to know that this guy doesn't know how to be thrifty when it comes to WrestleMania entrances. Fancy cars. It's no secret that millionaires love driving in fancy cars and splurging on vehicles that the regular person probably won't be able to afford in 100 years. But Triple H deserves a good chariot as the King of Kings. Now, it's dumb to say that he doesn't ride in style because we often see him on Raw or SmackDown entering the building in a fancy limo. But someone of his stature should also be riding something better and fancier than an elongated sedan. That's why he bought himself some of the fanciest cars that money can buy. This includes a BMW M760Li, which isn't the cheapest car, and is actually one of the fancier models, especially when you consider the fact that it costs over $200,000. But then again, he is the King of Kings. That isn't all, because Triple H also got himself a prize stallion that he can make sure would not fail him when it comes to speed. The game bought himself a Lamborghini Huracan that's worth over $300,000. It's safe to say that this Lambo is probably the most expensive car that both Hunter and Steph have in their garage. But do you think that a BMW and a Lambo are the only cars they own? Think again. Triple H never runs out of chariots, because he also has a few more cars that he uses from time to time, probably depending on which persona he would like to carry on a certain day. While the DX version of Triple H once rode a tank to storm WCW, he has since downgraded to a Cadillac Escalade. An Escalade is by no means a tank, but it still looks so intimidating, especially when you consider that it's powered by a massive 6.2-liter V8 engine that churns out a maximum power of 420 bhp and a peak torque of 624 Nm. But the businessman and executive persona of Triple H is what he has been carrying more often ever since he stopped wrestling full-time. The game's most often used car is a Rolls-Royce Phantom that looks great with his status as an executive for the WWE and is a man worth $150 million. This older generation Phantom is powered by a massive 6.75-liter V12 engine that generates a maximum of 453 bhp and a peak torque of 720 Nm. As luxurious as the Phantom is, it's still pretty powerful, just like how a powerful physique is hiding under that suit and tie that Triple H often wears today. A dinosaur. Millionaires are known for spending their money on some of the craziest things that money can buy. For example, Justin Bieber once bought a pet monkey, but Triple H took that one step further by buying a freaking dinosaur. No, we're not talking about an actual dinosaur here, but it's pretty close to the type of dinosaur that money can buy. When we often see snapshots of Vince McMahon's office in the WWE headquarters, we can clearly see a skull of a dinosaur on one of the walls of his office. The story behind that dinosaur is that it was a gift from none other than Triple H, his favorite son-in-law. Triple H knew that his father-in-law would love this, and so he decided to buy it and give it to the billionaire head of the WWE. This, however, is not a real dinosaur, but it's actually just a replica of a dinosaur's skull, because we all know that, no matter how rich and loaded you are, a real fossil of a dinosaur belongs in a museum. Real estate. Real estate has always been a big market for millionaires to invest in because of the money that it can bring and because of how they also need a place to live. But the King of Kings just didn't buy an ordinary house or even a regular mansion. A king needs a palace, and that's what Triple H did when he and his wife bought a mansion worthy of royalty. Because of its price tag, it's worth more than $30 million. The mansion is located in Weston, Connecticut, and is just sitting right next to Daddy-in-law's equally stunning mansion. Of course, this isn't some ordinary house because it has everything a king and an executive needs to live in comfort. Triple H's mansion boasts an outdoor swimming pool, private gated entrance, and a home-built gym. But what a lot of people love about that mansion is that Triple H spared no expenses in building a state-of-the-art gym that will put to shame any of the most expensive fitness clubs in the world. Always in shape, and never seems like he is aging as he still looks as ripped as ever in his 50s, Triple H and his wife often work out in a personal gym that has some of the best equipment that money can buy. He even has his own personal trainer, who we can only surmise is someone who also doesn't come cheap. This allows the game to still be at the top of his own game. It's needless to say that this 50-year-old can still beat up any 20-year-old with that kind of a physique. WWE Jet. An executive who is worth $150 million doesn't ride coach, and certainly doesn't need to fly first class when he can afford to buy his own private jet. Technically speaking, Triple H doesn't own the WWE Jet, but it seems like he already has his name on it because he and Stephanie are the ones who are often using it to travel around the country and even the world, considering that they will eventually take over the business from the older Vince McMahon. WWE actually purchased a Bombardier Global 5000 that is valued at almost $50 million on the market, with used ones going for $30 million, for Triple H's own personal use, because they noticed that he's been traveling more often to make WWE an even bigger company. As such, even if he doesn't own the company plane, it was bought specifically for him, which only goes to show that someone of his money and caliber commands such power in a billion-dollar company. While Triple H has since retired from competing in the ring full-time, he's still one of the biggest figures in the entire world at professional wrestling and commands a lot of respect and power from different personalities and names in the industry. That's why someone like him is making and earning millions, even as he doesn't wrestle as much as the other guys on the roster do. So if you want to be smart and save your body from all the aches and pains of working non-stop, be like Triple H and be smart with the way you handle your money. Or, at the very least, go for the billionaire's daughter. And if you want to be as powerful and respected as Triple H is, feel free to like our video and subscribe to Spending Billions for updates on how millionaire athletes and personalities spend their millions and billions.